Love and peace. We are back. However, I just remembered we're gonna do it with the AirPods this time. All right, so let's do that again. Love and peace. We're back for another reading. So it was a lot of energy that I was receiving and downloading and experiencing today. And many messages were coming through. And I feel like you ever, what example do I want to give? I'll just say, I feel like because I took a little time to respond to getting back into doing these videos, that now that I have surrendered and am listening and moving out on what it is that I'm receiving, it's like the messages are coming like a lot, a lot. So there was a lot that was being received today, and I had the thought in the process of what I was receiving and what I was experiencing, I had the thought to express to you all a little bit about me. And for the purpose of when you're watching, you have a greater understanding of what's happening, so that you're not alarmed, or basically so you have the definite, you have the clarity. I thrive in clarity, so I will to offer clarity to others so that they can thrive as well. So I am designed in such a way that I pick up and receive the emotional energy of others. And when I say designed, I'm responding or speaking from the base of human design, which is a method of thought or a collection of thoughts that give us more insight to how we're designed, why we're designed, and what makes us tick, for lack of a better expression. It gives us clarity on understanding how to understand us as individuals and as collectives, and how we relate and connect with each other. So human design tells me that I have multiple emotional waves or connections. I can't think of the exact language, the human design language. However, that's the idea. So I'm connected to the collective. I am connected to the tribal, and I also have individual emotional waves. So when I experience something, I experience it deep. And I experience it deep because I'm experiencing it on multiple levels from multiple sources all at one time. So you'll find that there's times when I'm doing the readings and I'm balancing the energy. So to you, it may look like I'm getting emotional and I'm crying. However, it is my physical body responding to the abundance of energy that I am experiencing from the emotional waves from any given source of the three that I expressed. And I tend to take my time and kind of like balance it out. However, I'm also conscious that you all are watching, so I don't want to like take a long pause to get myself together. I want to be consistent and still expressing myself, so you all are still getting or receiving the idea of what you all came here for, while I'm still working through the balancing the energy that I'm experiencing. So in the event that you see me having that experience where I may be turning red, I may be in a little emotion, my voice might be quivering a little bit, that's what's happening. I am balancing the energy that I'm experiencing, and it's not like personally something is happening with me. It's me picking up or processing and balancing the energy that I'm experiencing on the collective frequency, the tribal, and sometimes individual as well. So that's that idea. Hopefully I explained that clearly. If you have never heard of human design, so you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's you're able to Google human design chart, and you can punch in your, if you know your place of birth, date of birth, time of birth, you can plug that in the same way that you get your natal chart. You plug it in and they will generate the chart that shows you your human design. And just to give a little bit more meat on that bone, it is a combination of the knowledge that we have from astrology, from the Kabbalah, from I Ching, and I always forget the fourth one. There's one more school of thought that is all combined, and the idea or the history of it is that this information was downloaded to an individual from light beings, and the light beings share with him that this was information or knowledge that would be needed for parents to teach their children, so that the children could have I'll say a head start or a leg up in gaining the knowledge of self, so that the purpose and why they came here, they would be able to hit the ground running, versus like us as the adults, we're still trying to figure this thing out, right? Like we're still in the process of figuring it out, and assisting each other in figuring it out. So human design has been designed or given to us from higher beings, higher intelligence, to assist us in navigating here on earth in simplistic terms. So if that's of interest to you, by all means, Google human design. There are several websites that offer free, excuse me, I don't know why I'm stuck on the thought, that offer you access for free to download your chart. Okay, so with that being shared, as I stated earlier, there were many ideas that was coming in, and they were coming in throughout the day. And as much as I wanted to retain them, I released them so that I can be at a clean slate to receive what is coming through now to offer to you all. And before I turned the camera on, I was connecting with the cards, and several cards popped out. And at first I was putting them back in, and then I was still, like shuffling the cards while I was listening to something else. Like I was getting myself together, finishing one idea before getting on camera for you all, and more cards popped out. So I said, okay, well, perhaps I should just go ahead and accept the cards. And I laid them out, which is, why they're already on the table. I laid them out, and I'm going to read them. And willfully, this message, it comes through clear, and it is exactly what you need at the time that you need it. And we are going to be utilizing a new deck. This will be my first time doing a reading in this manner with this deck. And this is the Wisdom of the Oracle Divination Cards by Colette Baron Reed. And this deck is also a deck that called to me, so I ordered it, and here we are. I do want to read a specific part in the beginning of the book before we get into the reading, because it did resonate, because I do understand that there are many different rhythms of thought that people operate in. And it's my will that when you come across my page, you are able to receive the clarity, the guidance, the support in the most universal way possible, because it would be unfortunate to not receive something that is being given from the divine, from the unseen, from the Most High, because of being caught up on the way you perceive a word and the way that I perceive a word, the way that you process it, the way that I process it. It would be unfortunate, right? So I am also very adamant and clear that words carry power. So if we could look to operate from the higher frequencies of the words so that we can all benefit from them, that is ultimately my goal. So in this particular book, they introduce us to the meaning of the words that they will for us to receive when these words are being utilized in this particular with these particular oracle cards. So it resonates for me to share them with you. So that is what I'm going to do. Okay. So oracle. Excuse me. I will that the sound is clear. If it's not, if you could leave it in the comments. I did order a microphone because I didn't have a wireless microphone. I think before I was just always using my AirPods. So I'm gonna look to elevate it a little bit, and I ordered a wireless microphone, so that will be here next week. So yes, back to the idea. Oracle, a person, shrine, or object that delivers guidance from a divine source and speaks wise counsel and advice. This word is derived from the Latin aurore, if I'm saying that right, and that means to speak. Then they give the definition to divination, asking for and receiving divinely inspired guidance from an oracle. And we know that the oracle is a person. I'm a person, so we just gonna stick with a person. A person from a divine source and speaks wise counsel and advice. And I wanted to point that out because it's important for us to understand that I'm just a vessel, right? I am a willing participant in the divine plan to be a vessel to receive and express messages, communications. And I've also been blessed and fortunate to have had enough experiences during my time here to be able to relate the messages in a tangible and real way, right? So that no matter who's listening, if it truly is your will to receive, you'll be able to walk away with something. And I may not have been doing it with the cards in this manner for a long time. I started this channel originally, I think 2 or 3 years ago, where I started utilizing the cards during that time. However, to be a oracle or a vessel that the divine speaks through or speaks to and I share, that has been taking place for about 10 years now. So I just wanted to present that so that we could be clear on the base that this is being done from. And the reason that it's being done is because of my will and my submission to be in harmony with the plan to be utilized to assist others, to assist my righteous brothers and sisters that have the will to be who they came here to be and do what they agreed to come here and do. So that's what we got going on. So willfully, that's clear, received and understood, and we can move forward with the reading so that we can see what the divine has for us this evening or morning, whenever you watch this video. And that's another thing too, real quick, real quick. These messages will be timeless, right? So I may be putting this message or putting this recording out today, and it's in October of 2023. You may not find this video until January of 2024. And it is exactly what you needed when you needed to hear it, because I was in surrender, submission, and in harmony to doing what I was supposed to do back in October, which allowed for the Most High to utilize this to ensure that when you got to the point that you got to, the point that you're at right now, watching this video, you will have exactly what you need when you need it. And that's why I say the messages are timeless. There's no magic happening. It's as simple as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do now and responding to my purpose and living my purpose, so that when the Most High needs for you to see this, or you're at the point in your journey where you're ready to receive, then the Most High will ensure that you receive it, or your spirit team or the angels or the hierarchy will make sure that you receive it at the time that you need. So that's why the messages are timeless. So the first card that popped out today is number 17. And I'm going to make sure I start saying the numbers too, because I know I haven't said the numbers in the other ones. For those that are into numerology, or you may be seeing angel numbers or numbers around you and it resonates with you, or maybe you can choose to look up the angel meaning, the meaning of the angel number, so that you could get further guidance and support from the unseen. So this is number 17, and this is called the Fates. The essential meaning of this card is fate, karma, acceptance that there are things you cannot change, and knowing what those things are. The Oracle's message. The Serenity Prayer sums up the meaning of this card. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. There are things in life you will never have control over. The conditions brought on by the evolution of the collective, by nature, and by your past experiences may be fated, preordained by spirit for a greater purpose you cannot understand in this lifetime. It may not be in your cards to understand why certain events occurred, but you can accept the mystery and work with what those events and your current circumstances have to teach you. This is the wisdom contained in the Serenity Prayer. Now, so many thoughts coming in. So in reading this, I'm reminded of a thought that I had, I believe it was yesterday. And the thought came in and I processed it. And I'm like, man, that's really profound. And a lot of people would benefit from hearing it if they would be at a place to be ready to receive. So I'm going to share the thought with you. You know how people say that when bad things are happening or things aren't going their way, or, monkey wrenches get thrown in their plans, that the devil is on them, or the devil is working hard, or, the devil don't take no days off, or whatever. The idea is that they put the reason that these things are happening on a being that they've identified that is in opposition to them in growth and being successful, or whatever the case may be. And the thought that I was exploring is that is not always the case, right? For one, I was taught, and many of us was taught, that Satan, or that lower frequency, or that reactionary force, only has the power in which we give them. So if we miss a step, then we open the doorway for the reaction to come in to attempt to take what we are doing back to nothing. However, that goes back to us because we missed a step, or we didn't do our due diligence, or we were rushing, or whatever the case may be. So that's one aspect of it. That ultimately, in that particular idea, we're responsible if we didn't do everything within our power. Another perspective is that sometimes the circumstances and the situations that we find ourselves in is the direct result of decisions that we made yesterday, right? If we were in a rhythm of making decisions prior that were not in a higher frequency, then everything that we put out, it has to come back to us. So when we start to experience things that are a reflection of the decisions that we made in the past, instead of taking ownership, or before we can even get to ownership, taking a moment to explore why this is happening, and then going through the steps to see, man, this is because I made the decision back then that resulted in an outcome today. Because remember, our past self was making decisions that got us our present self, and our present self is making decisions that's going to get us to our future self. So again, we have to take responsibility, right? It points it back at us to be more mindful and intentional in the decisions that we make today, so that we can shape and mold and co-create our reality tomorrow. And the third idea that was resonating is the fact that, as this one stated, the things that we cannot control. Sometimes it's the conditions brought on by the evolution of the collective, by nature, and by your past experiences may be fated, preordained by spirit for a greater purpose you cannot understand in this lifetime, or at least at this time in this lifetime. And that's what resonated. The idea that there are some circumstances that it may not have been that exact physical experience. However, the principles that govern that experience, we was going to have to experience that regardless, right? Like, for us to receive the lessons, for us to elevate as an entity, as a spirit being, having a physical experience, we was going to have a physical experience. And instead of us looking to escape that experience by putting it on some unseen force as being the reason, if we can shift our thought process to look at things from a more positive, higher frequency, elevated, or to seek the elevated understanding of things, then we could understand that some of these things were designed to shape and mold us or direct our path in a certain way, to shape and mold us to get to a point to where what's in us comes to the surface. And it reminds me of the idea that it takes pressure and time to create a diamond, right? That pressure, over the course of time is what produces the diamond. There's nothing comfortable about pressure over a course of time. However, the end result is a beautiful diamond that everybody gets to bear witness to the beauty of it. So that was the idea that came through for the Fates, card number 17. The next card is card number 38. 38. 34. That's 14. 38. And this card is To Be Fair. To be fair. I don't know if any of the imagery resonates with you. Hopefully you can see it clearly. Essential meanings: balance, justice, a need to consider options, mutual benefit, the law of cause and effect. The Oracle's message: life offers experiences that are challenging and experiences that are nourishing. Yet over time, they strike a balance. You move from stasis, that's how you say it. You move from stasis to doing, from discovering to loving, to letting go, to beginning again. Life is a pendulum swinging between all of these states. You will always oscillate back and forth between doing and being. If you are not content with where you are at this moment, remember that all experiences have their place. Accept them without judgment, and you will see how the universe adjusts in perfect balance. You reap what you sow. For every cause, there is an effect. Wondrous things will be revealed now. Goes in harmony with the idea that I was sharing that was resonating from yesterday. And another idea that resonates as well is the idea that was coming into, so many thoughts coming in. There was an idea that was coming to me yesterday. I will say another download. And the idea is connecting the dots, right? We are in a time right now, astrologically, where the planets are lining up in such a manner where the energy is for us to release. And that's directly related to the lunar eclipse that we just had. I don't want to quote the wrong date. However, the middle of October of 2023. And what was coming to me was the importance of us being able to release what's coming up without judgment so that we can be in the best position to receive what is coming next, right? And in us understanding the higher frequencies, pursuing the bigger picture of why things are happening the way that they are happening, or why things happen the way that they happen, it allows for us to give ourselves grace and compassion for the decisions that we made, for the things that we did that got us to where we are, and not judge ourselves as though we should have done X, Y, and Z. And it's easy to say what we should have done when hindsight is 2020. However, I challenge you to offer yourself grace that you made the best decision that you could have made under the circumstances that you were in, with the knowledge that you had and the ability that you had to navigate in those situations, right? I know some people may say, well, I knew better. However, I didn't do better, right? And you may have knew better, however, didn't have the tools to support you in doing better. So offer yourself grace and compassion, and understand that in whatever space that you find yourself in right now, that there is a better that's coming, right? My spiritual father used to say, it gets greater later. And that's an absolute fact. Like, in everything that I've experienced, and I was exploring this today as well, with everything that I've experienced, as challenging as it was, as hard as it was, as painful as it was, I was able to get through it. And when I got through it, things were better, right? I may still have had some of the similar issues or principles that I had to deal with. However, life got better. And the more that I pushed through the uncomfortability, the more that I grabbed to the ethers for spiritual understanding, spiritual understanding to ground me in the physical experiences I was having, it ensured that when I got to the better, I had a strong appreciation for it, right? Because not only did I make it through the tunnel to see the light, and not only did I see the light, I was immersed in the light. I remembered being in the darkness, and all I had was trust. All I had was belief and faith that everything was going to work out, even though I couldn't see how it was going to work out. And I know sometimes as being humans, it's challenging to navigate and still do certain things when you don't know how things are going to work out, right? You may need money for rent, and rent is coming up in 2 weeks, and you don't know how you about to get this money for rent. What you do know is that rent is due in 2 weeks. So you're more focused on, in this human avatar, on the fact that rent is due in 2 weeks. Your spiritual being, the essence of you, trusts that something is going to come through. However, you still have to deal with the physical everyday thing. So not only is rent due, however, now you got a flat tire. Now you don't have AAA. So now you got to figure out how you're going to get the car to somebody to get the tire on, because you don't got a spare in the trunk, right? Or let's say you got the spare in the trunk, but now you got to figure out how you're going to get money to buy a new tire. That's another expense. Then let's say one of your children has a field trip that costs money. Now you got to figure out how to make sure that your child goes on a field trip, how to get the tire fixed and pay rent. So, and part of me wants to say that might be a little extreme. However, the reality is that it's not, right? Those are situations that we really deal with in a real way, being human in this experience. And having faith and looking to the ethers and understanding that as long as I do what I'm supposed to do, and I do it from the purity of my heart, and I explore every option to make sure that I'm able to fulfill these responsibilities, the Most High is going to make a way. The Most High is going to make a way. So trust, right? Trust. Stand on your faith, stand on your belief, look to the ethers, look to the unseen, look to understand the unseen patterns that's taking place, so that you can see and grow in your understanding of what it is that you need to learn, what it is that you need to master, so that you can elevate above this experience, so that you can get to the greater. All right, the next card is card number 26. This card is happy, happy. Joy and contentment, essential meaning, joy and contentment, a sense of fulfillment, a feeling that all is well. The Oracle's message: your desires are effortlessly fulfilled now. Find joy in the present moment, whatever is happening, and be satisfied with the things as they are. You are free from the shackles of longing and able to experience the liberation that comes from actually being happy moment to moment. For you have chosen happiness over yearning for it. Now is the time for feeling joy for the sake of joy and experiencing contentment. None of this is because of something outside yourself. Your happiness is a result of your being at one with Spirit's plan for your life. All is well. The tide is in for now. Enjoy playfully splashing in it. You see? You understand? You see how that connects? How that all goes together? When we place ourselves in harmony and we accept that this, what's being experienced, is a divine plan that we willingly are participating in, we get to experience the happiness and the peace from trusting that the unseen has it, that the Most High has it, that we are going to receive what it is that we need because we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. And in us looking to operate from the higher frequencies, we get to experience happiness, genuine happiness, not because of the things that we have. However, when you know that you know that you know that you're supported, let me say that again. When you know that you know that you know that you support it, regardless of what it looks like in the physical realm, you know that there are powers and beings that are greater than you that have your back. That brings about a sense of peace, right? It brings a sense of tranquility that automatically allows for you to express happiness from a genuine place because there really are no worries. It's only really a matter of when you're going to figure it out, how it's going to happen, how it's going to unfold. It's never a if or maybe or you trying. It's a definite. It's just only a matter of when. So the next card is Yin. This is card number 2. Essential meanings. The feminine principle of receptivity. Letting someone else make the first move. Gathering information and taking in cues. The art of conscious allowing. The oracle's message. This is a time of calculated receptivity as you gracefully await what is coming to you, ready to accept it when it appears. Yin does not involve frozen dreams or even resting, but rather consciously allowing things to flow to you, poised to receive the bounty that will be made available to you. It applies sensitivity as you alertly study the actions of others and contemplate how they will affect you and yours. Remember, you must make space for miracles to appear. Be the shaped, not the shaper, and you'll see how quickly your dreams manifest. Now, when I was in question of whether or not this was a reading, the way that the cards came in, if it was a reading, the way that this all flows together is all the confirmation that I need. This particular card right here just puts the icing on the cake of what we've already been exploring from the divine, that when we are in submission, when we're in surrender, when we're in acceptance, when we trust, when we know that we know that we know, things get greater later. Because we're being happy, because we're pursuing growing, because we're looking at the positive and the higher understandings of what is to be received and learned and gained so that we can elevate past this level and move on to the next level. And in doing it in the spirit of happiness and gratitude and appreciation, it makes space for what's coming, for the blessings that are coming, the rewards that are coming, because it gets greater later. And being the shaped and not the shaper bears witness to our relinquishing of wanting to control, of wanting to force and make things happen as though we know the plan, as though we have all of the insight, when we do not. When we do what it is that resonates with us, what speaks to us, we are in direct connection to the divine, to the Most High, to the spirit realm that offers the guidance and the support for us to walk the path, to get to the destination, for us to be who we came here to be, to do what we came here to do, to serve the collective. And lastly, this card popped out. Originally, when I was doing it, I was like, okay, I'll do the 4 cards, and I was going to do one of the spreads in the book. However, this card came out as well. So we're going to see how this fits and resonates. This is card number 13. This is fork in the road. Essential meanings. Time to make a decision. Considering the consequences as you prepare to act. Owning up to your obligation to make a necessary choice. The Oracle's message. Every choice has a consequence. You've arrived at a fork in the road, and you are being asked to come to a decision. Will you further your dreams by choosing left or by choosing right? Will you take the road less traveled or the one well worn by others who have come before you? This is your choice and yours alone to make. Circumstances and other people will not make it for you. Be present and do not avoid this junction, for it is an important crossroads. Take heart, as no matter which path you choose, you will have a rich and meaningful experience. I think that is a perfect conclusion to the reading that we just had. Because with all of this insight, all of this clarity that Spirit has given us, now it's time to make a decision. Now what are we going to do with it, right? If you have found yourself at a crossroad when you find this video, now you have received what it is that you've needed to make a decision that will cause you to be able to receive whatever it is that is available to you from the Most High. Will you choose left or will you choose right? Will you choose the road less traveled or will you choose the road that was paved with good intentions and often traveled? Which one will you choose, right? And as I shared, there's no wrong choice, right? Because there is no right or wrong when it comes to divinity. It's either higher frequency or lower frequency and the consequences and the results of choosing those frequencies, right? However, ultimately, if you identify as being a starseed, a light worker, a star child, anybody who came here to the planet for a divine purpose, if you feel like you have a mission or an assignment on your life and you come in here to the planet that's greater than you, right? And it serves to assist other people or the collective or the planet as a whole, humanity as a whole, then there is no wrong choice because every choice is going to still lead you to the path. Now, whether you're going to get there with everything intact is going to be completely up to you because you can get there and have one arm, one leg, a bad eye, and diabetes. You know what I'm saying? Or you can get there and be fully intact because you made the challenging decisions. You made the uncomfortable decisions. You did the work to elevate your understanding of you. You did the work to release the baggage, the programming, the lower frequencies that you picked up during your time here on earth. So whichever path you choose, it is completely up to you. However, if you identify any of those that I named, your choice has already been made. You've already made your choice. You're coming into the conscious awareness every day of what choice you've made. And there are synchronicities, there are signs, there are cues and clues and downloads and premonitions and dreams and visions that are being shown to you every day that show you the decision that you made. All you have to do is trust in them. All you have to do is accept them, submit, surrender. Remember the Serenity Prayer. Give me the wisdom. God grant me the wisdom. That's unfortunate. I don't know them by heart. Let me see. The Fates, number 17. I just want to pull it up real quick before we yield so I can read it. Yes, excuse me. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And with that, family, I will that you receive everything that was needed. I will that this serves as nourishment to your spirit, clarity to your mind, peace to your being, and love in your heart. And I look forward to seeing you the next time. If you feel compelled, be free to leave your comments, your experiences below. If you feel compelled to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell. It's free for you, and it lets me know that you received something from this video. And it also lets you know every time that a video drops so you don't miss one. Until the next time, remember to shine your light. Love and peace.